Welcome to another episode 159 of the Hurricane Mike Show, where today we will be recapping, but not capping, the New Orleans Saints 17-7 road victory on the Carolina Panthers. But before we get into that, I said the Saints went on the road, but they didn't go all the way to Germany to lose, and they didn't even lose at all, because why then?
Because the Falcons went all the way to Germany and showed those people in Berlin that they suck.
Man, bro, they let that man run 83 yards on them.
Didn't
Man,
even lose, but lose like that.
it's like Atlanta, they just find new. Look, it's the same stuff, different week, man. It's like, so look, right? I'm going to paint the picture for y'all if y'all didn't see the game. Man, the Colts were up by 5, right? Atlanta gets a touchdown and the 2 points, so they go up by 3, right? And Atlanta fans are thinking, oh, this is done. Colts beat in the bag. And guess what they did? On 3rd and 21, they let this man, Daniel Jones, run for 19 yards on 3rd and 21. So then 4th and 2, boom, easy first down. And then the Colts got a field goal. And then Atlanta gets an intentional grounding penalty, which ends regulation, right? They go to overtime. Atlanta gets the ball. Y'all should already know what happens. Colts win. And you know the funny part about that? I was watching an Atlanta fan react to the Saints game, and they're like, okay, I mean, all we need is to beat some of these divisional teams. And look, Atlanta's going to the playoffs. And I'm like, man, these people just don't learn, man. They just don't learn.
Playoffs?
Man, like, they just don't learn. Be like us, Atlanta. Oh, no, don't be. No, because I want y'all to think you're going to the playoffs so it can be more heartbreaking for y'all. But be like us. We know we're not doing nothing this year. Come on, man.
We're going to try to ruin some team's season. And the next one on our list, the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, and we got a bye week this week, too. So maybe we're going to rest up to get ready to punch all in the teeth. Anyways, now let's get to why we're really here. Saints on the road at Bank of America Stadium beat the Panthers 17-7. We're in the first quarter. Panthers outscored us 7-3. Second quarter, Saints outscored us 7-0. Or Saints outscored them 7-0 because I'm a Saints fan. Third quarter was a tie, 0-0. No one scored. And then the fourth quarter, Saints won 7-0 to win 17-7. Low scoring affair, but hey, I'll take a win any way we can get one, man. I'll take this week over last week any day of the year. You know, if we go over the scoring summary and how those points are spread out, in the first quarter, with 7:59 remaining, Panthers marched right down the field. They threw an interception, but you know, Justin Reed doing Justin Reed type of things, gets a penalty. So Rico Dowdle runs right in for a 5-yard touchdown, followed by Ryan Fitzgerald's extra point for the Panthers to go up 7-0. But the Saints eventually, on their next drive, go right down the field. They settle for a field goal, which I still don't understand that decision, but they settle for a field goal. Blake Grupe hits a 21-yarder to make it 7-3. Notice how they already had their 7 points. And then with 9:21 left in the second, Tyler Shuck hit a beauty down the right sideline to Chris Olave for a 62-yard touchdown. We don't get many of those around here, so I'll take it. What's good, Jerry? How you doing, man? Yeah, then Blake Grupe hit his extra point. Yeah, victory. Yes, it is, Jerry. So yeah, the Saints went up 10-7. And then in the fourth quarter, with 10:20 left, Tyler Shuck followed by an interception. Tyler Shuck threw another beautiful pass to Juwan Johnson, who actually, shout out to Juwan, made a good play there. Juwan Johnson gets a 30-yard touchdown. Grupe hits it, basically iced the game from that point on. Saints win 17-7. But now let's get into detail. Tyler Shuck, this was his second career start. I think this is his 4th game that he's ever played because he came in at the end of the Seattle game. He came in the Tampa Bay game and then started the last 2 games. So he has a little bit of experience under his belt now. And he showed why. 19 for 27, 282, and 2 TDs. Taysom Hill also threw a pass. Why not? Yep. And Jerry says Saints only win in the NFC South. Yes, they are, man. We don't get too many of those, Man, Tampa Bay choking on their spit against the Patriots. It was like, man, I wasn't watching that game because I didn't. But it's like I even thought Tampa was going to beat the Patriots. Coming off of a bye week, Baker Mayfield's playing at an MVP level, and to Baker's credit, he still had a good game on Sunday, but New England outmatched them. And Atlanta, you already know what happens. And obviously, we're talking about Carolina losing. So, yeah, the Saints are the only team that won in the division. So, yeah. So, how do you feel about Mr. Tyler Shuck in his second career start and getting his first ever win?
I think I saw some improvement, but I don't mean to toot my own horn, but from the get-go, I was like, man, we need to start this dude day one because I saw some of this same stuff in preseason. I saw him being comfortable. I saw him, he didn't have a whole lot of opportunity, but with that little opportunity, he made a couple plays downfield, which Spencer Rattler hasn't been able to do all year long. And he showed it in this game that he made some plays downfield. And, I think he's the guy going forward. We'll just got to see if he develops more and gets better. And, if we do get a top 5 pick next year, maybe we won't draft a quarterback if this dude keeps getting better and developing.
Yeah, look, Shuck, he played great. Okay, I didn't see too many plays. I don't think there was one time yesterday where I'm like, Shuck, what are you doing? I don't think I saw that. He was moving outside the pocket. He was getting loose. He was throwing awkward passes, and he was showing like a lot of people were saying, "Oh, we should have drafted this guy. We should have got Shador. We should have got McCord. We should have got Ewers. We should have got this guy, that guy, and the third." Shuck is like, nah, I'm the guy. I'm not gonna say he's the future QB yet, but if he keeps playing like this, we might be getting somewhere. 2 plus 2 does equal 4. So hopefully he's our 2 plus 2 equals 4 situation. Tyler Shuck, if he keeps doing what he did yesterday, and it's not like this was the Panthers of old that we beat. I mean, the Panthers had a winning record coming into the game. So if Shuck keeps doing
another thing, I mean, you're looking at these stats, and a stat that tells me something is you look at the average per completion, 10.4. And how many times we sat here on these shows and looked at Spencer Rattler, 4 yards at the attempt, 6 yards at the So this tells me that, yeah, Shuck was pushing the ball down the field. He was reading defensive coverages and picking it apart when he had the opportunity. But let's not drool all over ourselves, though. It was the Panthers. Even though they had, a few wins here and there, they still the Panthers, and I don't think they're very good. They beat up on trash teams, and so we'll see how this goes forward, especially against the Falcons. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I said on my stream yesterday, though, I do think the Panthers are fraudulent because, they were 5-4, but what win? Dad, tell me one single win that the Panthers got where you're like, ooh, that's a good win right there. Like wins are wins. I'm not saying Panther fans should be being like, oh man, we won, but I'm not saying Panther fans should be like depressed that they're winning. But let's be honest with ourselves. Like, what win really screams out as what a win by the Carolina Panthers?
I mean, they do have a victory against the Packers, which the Packers have been down this year. They've been disappointing, but
it's like, bro, they scored 16 points to win, and you might be like, that's defensive, but no, Jordan Love was like playing for the Panthers almost. Like you saw some of those throws he was making, so it's like,
Yeah, the other wins against the Falcons, the Cowboys. I mean, those aren't impressive wins. We know that.
Yeah. Yeah, look, Panthers, look, they're a decent team, but I think they're like a year or two away from being like a good team, and that's only if they can build around Bryce Young. And to be fair, I don't even know if Bryce Young's their future, to be honest with you, because like some of the throws he was making yesterday, I'm looking, and you would have thought Tyler Shuck was the first overall pick compared to Bryce Young. It's like, but yeah, but Tyler Shuck played great, but this was a team win. Like, you want to know the definition of a team win? Yesterday. Everyone did their job. So let's talk about the running game and how great. This was probably Kamara's best game this season. Kamara, man, 22 carries, 83 yards, 3.8 yards a carry. Yeah, Devin Neal gets some action, 4 carries for 22 yards, 5.5 a carry. Taysom Hill, getting 7 carries for 20 yards, 2.9 yards carry, and basically finished the game. And Tyler Shuck, 4 carries, -3 yards, -0.8 yards carry because of them kneel down. So, how do you feel about the running attack? And we can actually say the running attack yesterday. How do you feel about it?
Well, at least we ran the ball. I mean, this was 37 rushes against 28 passes. And we talk about this every week. And that's the way to win football games. I mean, rush for 122 yards, but only 3.3 a carry, which is below the league average. But at least we stuck with it. We didn't, we're not running the ball well, so let's pass it every play. No, we stuck with it. And as you can see, we ran the clock down. In fact, when the game was over, it was like 10 minutes to 3. I was like, man, this was a fast game. And that's because we was able to run the ball and run the clock and limit the opportunities for the Panthers to come back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints game was the first game to end yesterday, other than the Germany game. But yeah, from the early slate, the Saints game was the first one to end, and I remember that because I'm like, okay, bet now I get to see what happens the rest of the day before the Seattle game happens. So I'm like, you know what? Now I can just chill back. I was able to watch the end of the what game was it? It wasn't Jacksonville. What
The
game
Bears.
was?
The Bears.
Yeah, the Bears game, and then the Vikings game came on. So I was able to watch 2 extra final minutes of the game, and I'm like, I'm chilling, man. It's like, stress free. Got to watch some good football after the Saints win, so it was like, pretty good time. But yeah, look, the running game was great, and like I said, this is a team win. Kamara, like I said, probably his best game of the season, because he wasn't just running the ball; he was catching the ball. We got a couple screen passes going his way, and Devin Neal even got busy on the action receiving wise as well. Devin Neal was finding open lanes. The offensive line was blocking pretty well. And the offensive line I was kind of iffy on because, you traded away Penning earlier. Well, traded away Penning last week at the deadline, so you had to switch up your offensive line. Fuaga, he didn't play, so you were starting to see Richards there. You moved, I think it was Simpkins. No, you moved Redunds, you didn't move him to guard, but you started him at guard to replace Trevor Penning since, he's with the Chargers now living his life. And, so you basically had, and also Luke Fortner starting at center because McCoy's not playing. Kelvin Banks did play, but it's like, still a rookie. So, but hey, the offensive line for the most part played well, And to be fair, the offensive line hasn't been bad as it has been in past years. So, I'll take whatever we can get. But there's 3 elements to the offense: the passing game, the running game, and the receiving game. So, we got to talk about these receivers, man. Chris Olave, this isn't even debatable. Olave, this was his best game this season. 5 catches, 104 yards, 20.8 a pop, and a touchdown. Dad, did you see that one-handed grab, bro?
I did.
That thing looked clean. Like, I've seen better catches, but in that moment, man, that thing was so clean. The way Shuck put it there, and Olave just, and there was a pass interference too. Oh man, Olave just did the Michael Jordan. But yeah, Chris Olave, man, great game. Juwan Johnson, I'll give him credit. He caught everything thrown his way. 4 catches, 92 yards, 23 yards to catch, and a touchdown. Alvin Kamara, 3 catches, 32 yards, 10.7 yards a catch. We were mentioning how he got active in the receiving game and the screen game. Foster Moreau, he was back, 2 catches for 16 yards, and that is back for Foster Moreau. Got 8 yards a catch. Devon Vela had 1 good catch on a 3rd and 17. He didn't get the first down, but it was nice to see us actually use our big body weapon, as he had 1 reception for 15 yards catch. Zaire Mitchell-Payton, who got on the team, I believe, last week, had 1 catch for 14 yards a catch. Devin Neal, 3 catches for 9 yards, 3 yards a catch. How do you feel about the receivers yesterday?
Well, like you said, Chris Olave had his best game. Juwan Johnson could have had his best game also. I mean, we need these 2 guys to step up every game and shoulder a load because our wide receiver room is kind of weak. So these 2 guys have to shoulder the load and be very productive. I mean, we throw into a guy called Zion Mitchell-Palin or something. I didn't even know who that was when I saw him catch that ball. I'm like, who snuck in the game? Did he come from the stands? I mean, where he come from? Well, I was unaware of them, but that just goes to show how thin our wide receiver room is. So these guys, you got to step up and got to be productive every week. Stop dropping the ball.
Well, he's not a receiver; he's a tight end. But yeah, I mean, I think he was in Baltimore. I could be wrong there, but I know we picked him off of waivers. And I was also iffy on the receiving room because you traded away Shaheed at the deadline. So I'm like, okay, and I'm like, okay, maybe this could make Brandon Cook step up. And bruh, Brandon Cooks went from having one catch a game to no catches a game. So what in the world is going on with you, Brandon? We traded away Shaheed, and I'm like, okay, Brandon Cooks has to get some action now. And even when we do that, even when we trade away a receiver, you still don't do nothing. So like, why do we sign you, my brother? But overall, the receivers though they played well. Olave and Johnson carried the load while Foster Moreau did his little thing. But
So
Belair made a good catch.
out of the 19 catches that we had, only 6 were made by wide receivers. 5 of them were made by Olave. That just goes to show how thin our wide receiver room is. When we need all the tight ends to catch passes, we need all the running backs to catch passes because we don't have receivers that could shoulder the load and make big plays.
Yeah, I'm so confused why we don't use Mason Tipton. Like, did you not watch the preseason? Like, I'm not saying Tipton's gonna get like 100 yards every game, but it's like, who, bro? You're relying on a guy named Brandon Cooks to be your number 2 guy. He didn't even get a single target. So what? Okay, you know what? We won. We won. Let's talk about this defense, man. Look, a week ago they had probably their worst game I've ever seen. But this week, Kool-Aid, you earned your name back for this week.
What?
Good job. I will say though, that first drive Carolina had, I'm watching. I'm like, here we go again with the bull crap, man. Let them go right down the field. But you shut them out they didn't get no more points after that. Kool-Aid McKinstry, 4 tackles, 2 assists. Wasn't his best game, but he did his part. Lante Taylor, 4 tackles, 1 assist, and an interception. And I don't know if you studied that interception, but Lante Taylor, he fooled Bryce Young. You know why? He was creeping up like he was about to blitz. Because, back in week 1 last year, Taylor had 3 sacks against poor old Bryce Young. So, Lante Taylor, he went up looking like he was going to blitz. And then Young snapped the ball, and he turned his head this way, so I'm assuming. So I think he assumed that Taylor was going to come on the blitz. He looked back, and then Taylor backed up into coverage, and the ball was a dime to Alontae Taylor. So yeah, I studied that play, and it's like, and I even saw it before the play even happened. I'm like, I noticed Taylor, and I'm like, okay, it looks like he's about to blitz, and then he backed up into coverage and got the pick. So yeah, Alontae Taylor did his thing. Quincy Riley, the rookie corner out of Louisville, got 3 tackles. Pete Werner, 3 tackles, 3 assists. And also recovered a fumble because ball does not lie. If you know about that blocked field goal mess. But Demario Davis, 2 tackles, 5 assists. Also got an interception, but it was wiped off the board because of Justin Reed. Cameron Jordan, 2 tackles, and he made his presence known with a sack. Old man Cam getting the sack like it's 2016. But anyways, Brian Brzee, 2 tackles, 2 assists. Chase Young did his thing. Not a terrible game by Young. 1 tackle, 2 assists. Justin Reed, 1 tackle, 4 assists. He just has to play better. He's probably our weak link on the defense right now. Danny Stutzman, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Carl Granderson, 1 tackle. Isaiah Stallbird, 2 assists. Devon Godchow, 2 assists. Jonas Sanker, 2 assists. Jonathan Bullard, 1 assist. So, how do you feel about the defense yesterday?
All you gotta say, look at them. 7 points. I mean, you did your thing when the opposing team has under 10 points in a whole football game. I mean, usually that's been us most of the time this season, but it was good to see the shoe on the other foot for a change. Alontae Taylor had a good game. Demario Davis was everywhere. I mean, he was really getting it done. And Cam Jordan, I think it might be his 3rd or 4th game in a row getting a sack or getting a half a sack.
I'm looking at it right now. It says Cam Jordan got 0 sack. It says Cam Jordan's last sack was against the Bills.
Really?
That's
Well,
what this thing's saying. I mean,
that guy on TV lied to me then. So, okay.
Mick Swagger said Cam 4 games in a row with the sack, but here it says his last sack was against the Bills back in week 4. I mean, I can check a different source. Let me check ESPN and see that. Nah, they're saying the same thing. So I guess you and Mick
Okay, well,
Swagger both got
gave
fooled.
Cam too much credit, but he got a sack this week, man. So keep it up, Cam. Keep it up. Do that against the foul cans. Get 4 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Mick Swagger says Cam 4 games in a row with the sack. Well, no, his last game might have been week 4, but you know. But hey, we won. I don't care how much games in a row. I mean, I hope now he gets 4 games in a row with the sack. But you know what? A win is a win. I will say this though. Do you remember seeing that blocked field goal?
I did.
Ain't that rule just a pile of crap?
I've seen that rule, a couple times in my life watching football. I
I've
mean,
seen
it's
it
just
too.
just a little crazy thing where if it goes past the line of scrimmage, if the kicking team touched it, the other team has a chance to recover the ball. That's crazy that a blocked field goal can turn into a fumble. That should be a straight up dead ball. They need to do away with that rule. I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but I have seen it happen.
Yeah, and also, but I said this on my stream too when it happened. Ball don't lie. Okay, a lot of things lie in this world. Men lie, women lie. Ball don't lie. So when like a few plays after that blocked field goal happened, when he fumbled the ball, that was God saying the referee done made a mistake. So you know what? We got to gift the Saints the ball back, and I appreciate it because that was not a like, and it's technically like a turnover for the Saints, but bruh, rules are so confusing. Like quarterbacks, like if they slide, the ball gets placed where they start the sliding motion. Like that just makes no sense. The ball should be down whenever the knees down or whenever the legs down, not when they start to slide. Like if that's the case, then if a running back jumps or dives over the plane, then the ball has to be down wherever he started to dive. Like rules are so confusing, but this is the ball don't lie moment. But yeah, so yeah, Saints defense definitely delivered. Now let's talk about the special teams unit. Dante Pettis, who I forgot was even on the team, got 1 kick return for 31 yards and also 2 punt returns for 8 yards as he's taking over the return duties after the Shaheed trade. Blake Grupe made his 1 field goal. To be fair, it was like one of the closest field goals you're ever going to kick. But yeah, I mean, he was 1 for 1, 100%, longest being that 21-yarder and scored 5 points. And Kai Kroger, 4 punts, 177 yards, 44.2 yards a punt, and 3 inside the 20. All right, let's see. Mick Swagger says, if they change that rule, they'll have to change the rule about being able to return block kicks. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, I think, personally, blocked field goal should be a dead ball. Like, because, like, if you... Yeah. So, if you block field goal, right? Not... Okay, so, let me... You block field goal. You're blocking the field goal, okay? So, why do you become the offense when you start... Like, the rules confuse them because, like, sometimes you can return the kicks and sometimes you can't. Like,
The
I'm
where
just
where I come
confused.
off with don't reward the offensive team for getting their kick blocked. I mean, that's what they're doing. It's like I don't know. That's like, hey man, let's get our kick blocked so we can push it forward and get them to touch it, and we can get the fumble. Then you're gonna have people strategizing on that. No, have it be a dead ball. No matter what happens, your hand hits ball, blow that whistle.
Yeah, it's like, the blocks, like, once the field goal is blocked, I feel like it's dead. Like, we've seen it countless times before where a team blocks a kick and another team gets a free touchdown because the other team doesn't know what to do. Like, it happened with the Saints one time. Well, it was I think a kickoff, but it was like years ago when we were playing the Rams, and the Rams got a touchdown because the Saints were already walking off the field. And then the LSU Florida, or not Florida, LSU Georgia SEC championship a couple years ago. I don't know if you remember, but Florida. Why do I keep saying Florida? Florida's not that good. Georgia blocked the field goal. LSU, the entire team was basically off the field, and Georgia got a touchdown. It's like if these guys don't know the rule, why are we supposed to follow the rule?
They
But
got a lot
whatever.
of rules.
I mean, shoot, the Saints don't follow any rules. I mean, they still get penalties on third down like it's nothing. I heard you the first time. Right. But yeah, Saints win. But that rule still sucks. Anyways, let's go over to the Panthers side of things. Bryce Young, 17 for 25, 124 yards, 1 interception. And I'm pretty sure he had like 30 yards in the first half. So how do you feel about poor old middle school looking Bryce Young?
I think Bryce Young forgot how to play football. I mean,
Did he ever know how to play football?
in Alabama, he was what, a Heisman Trophy candidate.
I think he actually won the Heisman.
Did he win it?
He won it, I think, the year before he got drafted.
Okay, his sophomore, junior year. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, the middle school dude just, I've been saying it all year long. I said it last year that I don't think he's very good. I think the Panthers are probably gonna move on from him after this year because they're seeing how trash he is. I mean, so yeah, so he didn't do anything I didn't expect in this game here.
Yeah. Mick Swagger said Bryce days are numbered. Look, Bryce Young, it's weird with Bryce. Some games he goes out there and looks like he has potential to be a starter. Some days he goes out there and looks like Josh Rosen. Bryce Young is so bipolar, it's insane. Like Young, the last couple of weeks, even when Carolina was winning, even when they were winning games, I'm looking at this man and I'm like this man literally is like Tim Tebow. He's literally Tim Tebow. He's basically the middle school version of Tim Tebow. Like, whenever they win games, you're looking and you're like, did Bryce Young win game? Or it's like, I just don't understand Bryce. Even at Alabama, even when he was at Bama, I was watching him and I'm like, he still didn't look that impressive to me. I'm sorry. Like, his Heisman year, he looked pretty good. But then the year that made him get drafted number 1 overall, I'm looking and I'm like, he just does not look that good to me. I'm sorry. I just don't know. He would have been gone last year, but our Dennis Allen defense made him look like a starter the same game that got Dennis Allen fired. Yeah, I mean, I understand, but it's like, even if the Saints would have beat Carolina, and fun fact, if y'all don't know, even if we would beat Carolina, it was reported Dennis Allen was going to get fired anyway, so, it was a win-win scenario. But, even if you beat Carolina and Dennis Allen still gets fired, I still don't think they would have moved off of Young because it would have been his second year. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks get moved off of after their rookie year. Josh Rosen being the prime example. Jamarcus Russell only had 3 years, which I think Young's in his 3rd year. So, I mean, Young shows flashes, but he's not a franchise guy. Tyler Shuck outplayed him at every level yesterday, running the ball, passing the ball. Chemistry. And it's weird. Shuck's a second-year player, and he looked like he had more chemistry than any receiver Young played with yesterday. And he's only in his 2nd game. He's basically a new student. But yeah, Bryce Young. And it's weird, though. Shuck is literally older than Bryce Young. That's the funny part. Young's a rookie, and he's already older than half the league. But yeah, Bryce Young just did not inspire. He's not a guy He's not a guy where you wake up in the morning and you're like, let's go. I got to watch some Bryce Young football today. He's not that type of guy. He's that guy where it's like, okay, if he plays good, great. If he doesn't, whatever. So, yeah, Young, I don't know. Let's talk about their running game, though. Rico Dowdle, man, coming to the game. A lot of people are saying Dowdle's going to terrorize our defense. 18 for 53, 2.9 yards carry. He got a Mickey Mouse touchdown. Panthers really should have got shut out for real. But yeah, Rico Dowdle got a touchdown early in the game. But it's like, that man ran for 200 yards against Miami. I think he ran for almost 200 against Dallas. He went to Carolina. We were playing Carolina, and this man couldn't even get 60 yards, let alone 200. Chuba Hubbard, 3 carries for 14 yards, 4.7 yards a carry. And Bryce Young, 2 carries for 6 yards, 3 yards a carry. Mick Swagger said, I like how Tyler kept his eyes down the field and didn't think scramble first. Yeah, that's also another point. Bryce Young panicked a lot. which is why he took a lot of sacks. Shuck, he played like a veteran. Maybe it comes with age. But anyways, back on track. Just want to throw that out there. Panthers run game, Dad. What you have to say about it?
It was a good job by our defensive line and linebackers shutting Rico Dowden out. Only 73 total yards. The team, anyway. They tried to run the ball. 23 rushes, 73 yards, only 3.2 average. So, yeah, we did a good job on the running game for a change. And, I think Rico Dowden got a little injured during this game. He got a little banged up. So maybe that was affecting him later in the game also.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Staley, man, we've talked about how he's been disappointed, but hey, he was able to. He schemed for the run. There was a lot of plays where he blew up the running attack. And like defense as a whole, I can't really name too many plays. Like there's maybe a couple plays where it's like the defense, what are y'all doing? But for the most part, one thing the defense has to learn, and I mean they have to. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. They have to learn this. When a team gets to a third down, that don't mean you gotta hold them. Like when we say hold them on third down, we don't mean grab them by the shirt and start ripping their shirt. That's not what hold them on third down means. When we say hold them on third down, that means don't let them get the third down. But that don't mean you actually hold every part of their body like you're about to give them a hug. And Justin Reed, I know Bryce Young looks so slappable, but you don't gotta slap the man when he throw the interception. That's just me though. That's something the defense has to work on. Just because a team gets a third down and you're trying to hold them, that don't mean you hold them literally. But yeah, just had to throw that out there because they still do it. The only reason the Panthers got points is because we don't know what to do on a third down. But honestly, the defense, this is what I want y'all to work on in practice. Pretend every play is a third down and don't commit a penalty. Like hire an actual ref or something. I don't know. But it's like, right. Anyways, I mean, we get no leeway with refs anyways. You're just making their job 100 times easier. But anyways, Panthers receiving game. Let's talk about it. Tedero McMillan, a guy that the Saints fans are drooling over drafting. He was on Clamp Island. 5 catches for 60 yards, 12 yards a catch. He didn't have a bad game, but there was one play on a third down, ironically, where he dropped the ball. So it's like, McMillan he didn't play like a first-round pick yesterday. Jatavion Sanders had 5 catches for 32 yards, 6.4 a catch. Jalen Coker, 3 for 21, 7 yards a catch. Rico Dowdle, 3 receptions for 10 yards, 3.3 yards a catch. Chuba Hubbard, 1 reception for 1 yard, 1 yard a catch. So how do you feel about them Panthers receivers yesterday?
Yeah, McMillan was the only guy I was kind of concerned about, but he was clamped up, like you said. Had a couple drops. That was great. Everybody else did not scare me, and they didn't, scare me in this game at that. But, yeah, we really had our best game in the secondary, I thought, other than those couple little holding penalties, which, I mean, being aggressive, I don't mind all that much. Hopefully things will even out during the game. But, we got to watch some of those third down calls.
Yeah, I'm not mad about being aggressive. In fact, I want them to be aggressive toward the ball. But don't be so much aggressive where it's an egregious penalty where it's coming out. Like, the amount of times that we committed a penalty on a third down, it's insane. It's like if I had $1 for every time that we commit a penalty on third down, well, I'll have about $6. But that's too much dollars in this case. It's like, come on, man. You gotta lock, when we say hold, I don't mean, when I say aggressive, I mean, go towards the ball. Don't go towards giving the dude a concussion. Just because Chris Olave got the concussion last year, don't mean you gotta give other people concussion. Don't do that. Because there's a penalty on you every single time. But yeah. Now let's talk about this Panthers defense, who really wasn't on nothing. I mean, we only got 17 points, but hey, that's 10 more points than Carolina got. So, Panthers defense, let's see, Trayvon Moehrig, 6 tackles, 1 assist. Chow Smith-Wade got 6 tackles. Nick Scott, 4 tackles, 2 assists. Derek Brown, 3 tackles, 6 assists. Trevin Wallace, 3 tackles, 1 assist, and a sack. Christian Roseboom, 2 tackles, 2 assists. DJ Woonham, 2 tackles, 4 assists. Princely, you made me. 2 tackles, 1 assist. Nick Scorton, 2 tackles, 2 assists, and a sack. Tershawn Wharton, 2 tackles, 5 assists. J.C. Horn, the son of Saints legend Joe Horn, got 2 tackles, 1 assist. Ashawn Robinson, 2 tackles, 2 assists. Lathan Ransom got 1 tackle, 1 assist. Mike Jackson, 1 tackle. Claudin Chairless, 1 tackle, 2 assists. And old dude Travis Gibson got 1 assist. So how do you feel about Carolina's defense?
I feel that Joe Horn has a problem today. Yes, I said Joe Horn, the daddy of one J.C. Horn. Joe Horn sitting back there saying Chris Olave won't be happy that he has my boy calling him daddy. So, yeah, J.C. Horn definitely was the son of Chris Olave yesterday. Chris Olave, burned him. That was him, right, for the 62-yard touchdown?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
J.C. Horn fell down and stuff.
he was J.C. Horn's daddy yesterday.
He also gave up the touchdown to Juwan Johnson, too.
And he has 2 daddies yesterday. That's perfect.
And ironically, he fell down on both of them.
Joe Horn is double mad today. He's looking at his boy JC like, "These your daddy now?" And so I don't know. So that's my take on Joe Horn and the defense yesterday. That's my big takeaway is JC Horn just looked kind of bad yesterday.
Yeah, like on both touchdowns, he just completely fell down, which gave him wide open touchdowns. So it was like, But yeah, J.C. Horn, it's like every single time he plays against the Saints, he folds, and I love that for him. I hope he does that every time he plays the Saints. But yeah, anyways, now let's talk about Carolina's special teams. Chuba Hubbard had 3 kick returns for 78 yards, 26 yards of return, and Trevor Etienne 1 kick return for 30 yards of return, and Trevor Etienne had 2 punt returns for 15 yards, 7.5 yards of return. Kicking the ball, Ryan Fitzgerald was 0 for 1 from that blocked field goal and only scored 1 point because of the extra point. And Sam Martin punted the ball 4 times for 204 yards, 51 yards a punt, and 2 inside the 20. There was 1 punt where he pinned us at the 2-yard line, and on that next drive, I'm like, oh, shoot, we just gave up a safety. But apparently, since he threw the ball in the direction of Devin Neal, it was not grounding, which I'm happy about it. So how do you feel about Carolina's special teams unit yesterday?
The only thing noteworthy was that blocked field goal. I mean, everything else, and they didn't have too many opportunities because they didn't do much. I mean, we didn't do much either. We had a couple scoring drives to kick the ball to them, but other than that, didn't do much. So they didn't impress me at all.
Yeah, Let's talk about these stats. Saints had 388 total yards, 266 passing yards, 122 rushing yards. They averaged 5.8 yards per play, which is half a first down. So improvement for that. 17 first downs for the Saints. They were 8 for 17 on third downs. So the Saints were converting a lot. They were 2 for 3 on 4 downs. They should have been 3 for 4 if they would have went 4 from the 2-yard line on the opening drive. You know what? That's anyways, the Saints also ran 67 total plays, allowed 2 sacks, punted the ball 4 times, committed 6 penalties for 60 yards. Got to clean that up. They technically lost a fumble because of the blocked kick, and they had the ball for 33 minutes and 21 seconds. And the story last week was how we only got the ball for a little bit over a quarter. So hey, we had the ball for half a game this time. So I'll take it. Panthers, they had 175 total yards, 102 passing yards, 73 rushing yards. They averaged 3.5 yards per play. They got 13 first downs. They were 3 for 9 on third downs, 0 for 1 on fourth down. Ran 50 total plays, allowed 2 sacks, punted the ball 4 times, committed 1 penalty for 5 yards. They lost the fumble. They threw an interception and had the ball for 26 minutes and 39 seconds. So how you feel, or do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's my favorite stat of the when we do these shows now, the time of possession. I mean, because we got hammered last week in time of possession. This week, we was ahead, by 7 minutes, which is good. I mean, turning them over twice, helped that stat. We got one turnover, but I think that block, kick, fumble type deal, which really wasn't a turnover. But anything else? No, I'm good.
Well, Dad, I actually got something else. This same Panthers team that we beat yesterday, 17-7, is the same Panthers team that back in week 3 put up 30 points against Atlanta and shut them out.
You know what that means?
That we're their daddy, right?
That we should beat them, 50-0.
Yes, it should, I mean, we beat Carolina 17-7. We gave up 23 points less than what Atlanta did, and we scored 17 more points than Atlanta. But yeah, you're gonna have Atlanta fans thinking, "Whoa, we're going to the playoffs because yeah, maybe you can go to the playoffs, maybe whenever I'm dead or something, because you ain't going to playoffs as long as I'm here." But anyways, Dad, where can they find you?
Mic'd Up Sports YouTube channel, and on the Hurricane Mike Show every week.
Yep. Shout out to Jerry and Mick Swagger for coming through. You can always find me at Hurricane Mike, Kyle Phelps, and Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, turn the bell on so you don't miss another future upload. And we're still going to have the prediction show later this week, but we're not doing no pregame or no postgame on Sunday. You know why? Because the Saints ain't playing. So we'll see you for a Saints-related thing next week whenever we take on the Atlanta Falcons. But Dad, we'll leave them as always with the who dat, and don't be a what?
Don't be a Falcon fan. I think their plane left them in Germany.
Yeah, I mean, they play the Panthers on Sunday. Atlanta plays Carolina again Sunday, so we'll see how they do.